This show is part of OnePlace, a daily network of focused briefings across the stories people follow most.
Welcome to the Roundup. We are diving into a massive day of sports news, from historic buzzer beaters to coaching clashes and a major shift in the golf world. Let's get started.
Braylon Mullins becomes a UConn legend with a miracle shot.
Gino Auriemma and Dawn Staley clash as UConn falls.
Illinois players deliver the funniest quotes of the tournament.
The Masters proceeds without Tiger and Phil for decades.
Michigan's Yaxel Lendeborg brings veteran experience to the court.
Heavyweights Chisora and Wilder prepare for a London slugfest.
International stars dominate the rosters of the Final Four.
Dan Hurley's mother goes viral for her unfiltered reaction.
First, the Mullins miracle. Braylon Mullins has officially etched his name into the history books of UConn basketball. The true freshman guard pulled off what many are calling the shot of the decade, a near half-court heave that completed a staggering 19-point comeback against the top-seeded Duke Blue Devils. This wasn't just any win, it was an Elite Eight thriller that kept the Huskies' 2026 NCAA tournament hopes alive. Mullins, who hails from Greenfield, Indiana, has been a consistent force all season, starting 27 games and averaging nearly 12 points. However, nothing he did in the regular season could have prepared fans for this moment. He chose UConn over local powerhouses like Indiana and Purdue, seeking a change of scenery that has clearly paid off in the most dramatic fashion imaginable for a first-year player.
The backstory of Mullins makes this moment even more compelling. Growing up just 25 miles from Indianapolis, he was a local legend at Greenfield Central High School, where he averaged over 32 points per game in his senior year. He was Indiana's Mr. Basketball and a McDonald's All-American, yet he decided to leave the basketball-rich state of Indiana to play for Dan Hurley in Connecticut. His father, Josh Mullins, also played college ball, so the competitive drive clearly runs in the family. Now, with his younger twin brothers Cole and Clay watching from the stands, Braylon has propelled UConn into the Final Four. This shot doesn't just rank among the best buzzer beaters in school history, it cements his status as a five-star recruit who lived up to every bit of the hype on the biggest stage.
Next, the coaching clash. The women's tournament saw its own share of drama, but this time it was on the sidelines. South Carolina ended UConn's undefeated season with a 6-2, 4-8 victory in the semifinals. But the real story was the heated exchange between legendary coaches Gino Auriemma and Dawn Staley. As the final seconds ticked away in Phoenix, the two were seen in a visible argument on the court. Auriemma had been vocal throughout the game about his frustration with the officiating, specifically the lack of foul calls against the Gamecocks' aggressive defense. During a mid-game interview, he didn't hide his annoyance, and that tension boiled over when the buzzer sounded. It was a rare moment of public friction between two of the most successful figures in the history of the sport, highlighting the immense pressure of the Final Four.
Dawn Staley addressed the confrontation in her post-game press conference, noting that Auriemma was the one who initiated the conversation. She was quick to pivot back to her team's performance, emphasizing that their defensive strategy was designed to be disruptive and force UConn into inefficient shooting. Staley mentioned that she didn't want the sideline spat to overshadow what her players accomplished on the court. Meanwhile, Auriemma remained tight-lipped when asked for specifics, simply stating he said what he had to say. He did, however, double down on his comments regarding the physical nature of the game, suggesting that the level of contact allowed was beyond what he had seen in his long coaching career. This rivalry has clearly reached a new level of intensity as South Carolina moves on to the national championship game.
Now, Illinois' media moments. While some teams are focused on stoic professionalism, the Illinois Fighting Illini are taking a different approach during their Final Four run. They have become the darlings of the media for all the wrong, or perhaps right reasons. Described by some as the worst media-trained team ever, the Illini players have provided a string of hilarious and unfiltered quotes that have gone viral. From Kylan Boswell questioning David Mirkovich's attempt to rip the entire net off the rim, to Andrei Stojakovic celebrating with a newspaper while shouting about the news breaking, the team is clearly enjoying the ride. Head coach Brad Underwood has even joined in, making jokes about his players' defensive improvements by comparing their past efforts to guarding a dead man. It is a refreshing, if chaotic, look at the personalities behind the jerseys.
The humor isn't just coming from the stars, it's a team-wide phenomenon. David Mirkovic's attempt to explain that his nickname is just his name, and Zvonimir Ivisic's accidental slip of the tongue after a Sweet 16 win, have kept fans laughing. Even the more serious moments are punctuated by this raw honesty, like Merkovic discussing the extreme stakes he feels when playing through pain. These players aren't sticking to the script, and it has made them incredibly relatable to a national audience. Whether it's Keaton Wagler's teammates marveling at his 46-point performance with colorful language, or the group's general disregard for PR polish, Illinois is proving that you can be elite on the court while still being yourself off of it. They might not be the favorites to win it all, but they've already won the media cycle.
Moving to the Masters. For the first time in over 3 decades, the Masters tournament will take place without both Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson. This marks a massive shift for the sport of golf, as these two legends have defined the era of modern play at Augusta National. Phil Mickelson announced his withdrawal this week, citing a personal family matter that requires his full attention. This follows the earlier news that Tiger Woods would also be absent as he continues to recover from a serious rollover car crash. The last time the tournament didn't feature at least one of these icons was in 1994, a year before Tiger made his debut as an amateur. Their combined absence leaves a significant void in the field, as they are synonymous with the green jacket and the history of the event.
The impact of this double absence cannot be overstated for golf fans. Tiger and Phil have not only won multiple Masters titles, but have also provided the most memorable highlights of the last 30 years. Without them, the spotlight will shift entirely to the younger generation of golfers who are looking to establish their own legacies at Augusta. It will be a strange sight for viewers to watch the ceremonial start and the weekend rounds without the familiar red shirt of Tiger or the aggressive play of Phil. While the world sends its best wishes to both men for their respective situations, the tournament itself enters uncharted territory. We are about to see what the most prestigious event in golf looks like when it is forced to move forward without its 2 biggest stars for the first time in a generation.
Next, Michigan's veteran leader. Michigan's run to the Final Four has been fueled by a mix of talent and significant experience, embodied most clearly by their leading scorer, Yaxel Lendeborg. At 23 years old, Lendeborg is one of the most seasoned players in college basketball, a fact that has caused quite a stir during this year's tournament. His journey to Ann Arbor was anything but traditional. After missing time in high school due to academic issues, he spent 3 years at Arizona Western, a community college where he developed into a junior college All-American. He then spent 2 seasons at UAB before joining Dusty May's squad at Michigan. Because of his time in the NJCAA and the extra year of eligibility granted to many athletes, he has been able to extend his collegiate career, providing the Wolverines with a level of maturity that is rare in the modern game.
Lendeborg's age and path have become a major talking point as Michigan prepares for the national semifinals. Standing at 6'9", he has been a double-double machine, bringing a physical presence that younger opponents struggle to match. His story is a testament to perseverance, moving from a recruit with very little interest to a projected 2026 NBA draft pick. Coach Dusty May has leaned heavily on Lendeborg's leadership, noting that his experience in different systems and levels of play has made him a coach on the floor. While some critics point to his age as an unfair advantage, others see it as a blueprint for how players can use the transfer portal and eligibility rules to reach their full potential. As Michigan looks to secure a title, Lendeborg remains the steady hand guiding a deep and talented roster through the pressure of March.
Now to the ring. In the world of boxing, a significant era is nearing its conclusion as heavyweights Derek Chisora and Deontay Wilder prepare to face off at London's O2 Arena. This fight marks the 50th professional appearance for both men, a milestone that speaks to their longevity in one of the most demanding sports in the world. Chisora, now 42, has been a fixture in the heavyweight division for years, and while he never captured a world title, his resilience has made him a fan favorite. He enters this fight on a 3-fight winning streak, having recently defeated Joe Joyce and Otto Wallin. On the other side, Deontay Wilder is looking to reclaim his status as the most feared puncher in the division. After a series of tough losses, including a knockout by Zhilei Zhang, the Bronze Bomber needs a win to keep his career alive.
The stakes for this matchup are incredibly high for both fighters. For Chisora, a win could potentially lead to one last shot at a major title, though he has insisted he will retire after this 50th fight, regardless of the outcome. For Wilder, a loss would likely signal the end of his time as a top-tier contender. The heavyweight landscape is shifting, With Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua nearing the end of their own storied careers, and this fight feels like a final celebration of the old guard. The O2 Arena will be packed to see if Wilder can rediscover his knockout power or if Chisora's relentless pressure will carry him to a fairy tale ending. It is a classic crossroads fight where the loser may have nowhere left to go, while the winner earns a brief reprieve from the inevitable march toward retirement.
Shifting to global influence, the 2026 Final Four is a showcase of how much college basketball has embraced global talent. Teams like Illinois and UConn have built their rosters by looking far beyond U.S. borders, with nearly half of their players coming from international markets. Illinois, in particular, has leaned into this strategy, featuring 7 international players on their 1-5-man roster. One of the standouts is David Mirkovic, a freshman from Montenegro who already has professional experience and has represented his country on the senior national team. Then there is Andrej Stojakovic, the son of NBA legend Peja Stojakovic. Although born in the U.S., his deep international roots and his father's Serbian heritage are a big part of his identity. These players bring a different style of play and a level of professional polish that has helped their teams navigate the tournament.
UConn has also utilized this global approach to maintain its status as a powerhouse. By recruiting players from diverse basketball backgrounds, these programs are able to find unique skill sets that complement homegrown talent. Brandon Lee, another Illinois freshman, comes from a rich basketball lineage in Puerto Rico, following in the footsteps of his father, Butch Lee, who was a Naismith Player of the Year. This influx of international talent has changed the dynamic of the NCAA tournament, making it a truly global event. As these 4 teams prepare to battle for the championship, the influence of international scouting is more apparent than ever. It's no longer just about finding the best players in the States, it's about finding the best players in the world and convincing them that the path to the pros runs through the American college system.
Finally, the viral reaction. While Braylon Mullins was the hero on the court for UConn, his coach's mother, Christine Hurley, became an overnight sensation in the stands. As Mullins hit his incredible buzzer beater to sink Duke, the cameras caught Christine's reaction. And it was as raw as it gets. Stunned into disbelief, she was seen shouting a very clear NSFW phrase that perfectly captured the shock of the moment. Christine, the wife of legendary high school coach Bob Hurley Sr., has mostly stayed out of the spotlight while supporting her husband and son's careers. However, this moment of pure, unadulterated emotion resonated with fans everywhere. It wasn't just a mother watching her son's team win. It was a lifelong basketball fan witnessing one of the most improbable finishes in the history of the Elite Eight, and her reaction was something everyone could relate to.
The video of Christine and Bob Sr. looking like they had seen a ghost quickly went viral across social media. It added a human element to the high-stakes environment of the tournament, showing that even the most seasoned basketball families can be caught off guard by the magic of March. Christine has been a pillar of the Hurley basketball dynasty for decades, often keeping score for her husband's games and raising 2 sons who would both become major figures in the sport. Her viral moment is a reminder of the passion that drives the Hurley family, a passion that has now led Dan Hurley and UConn back to the Final Four. As the Huskies prepare for their next challenge, fans will surely be keeping an eye on the stands to see if Christine has any more unfiltered reactions left in the tank.
That wraps up our briefing for today. Make sure to follow us for the next daily update on the stories that matter most. We will see you back here tomorrow.